What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to my reaction channel, where today we will be reacting to This Psycho Wants to Murder His Wife. Let's get right into it. Off rip, looks guilty. He looks mad guilty of whatever he's being accused of.
So this guy really wants to kill his wife. Now the guy's name is Michael, and Michael's 58 years old, living in Oregon, and Michael has a big problem. His wife doesn't love him anymore, and he really wants to win her back. Now his wife is this woman, Susan. And of course Susan doesn't love him anymore. Michael, he's kind of a terrible husband. Like, he never takes her out or spends time with her. He does things like when she's trying to kiss him, he like burps in her face, which I guess...
Yeah, that'll fucking do it. That'll do it. Ew.
He thinks is funny. He always tries to control her spending habits when actually she makes more money than him. Like, she's a nurse while he's a janitor at an adult video store. Which, by the way, I assume that means he cleans the little booths out. Ew. Not to mention, he's also just kind of a bummer. Like, he's always referring to life as a shit sandwich.
That's a funny term. Shit sandwich, that's new. But he looks grumpy. He looks like what people would call a geezer. You know what I'm saying?
And so anyway, over time, all of this has kept building up. And then one day in 2005, after being married 17 years, Susan has finally had enough. She goes to Michael and she says, "I want a divorce." And poor Michael is devastated. Like, he doesn't want to get a divorce. I mean, he's not feeling this at all. And so I guess in a compromise, they agree to a trial separation where she stays in the house while Michael moves out to go live with his dad for a while. And from here, Michael's life just continues to get worse. He loses his job.
Hey, he's like 58, right? His dad's still alive? It's a blessing. It's a blessing right there.
At the adult video store, and I guess his dad kicks him out of the house. Damn. So now he suddenly doesn't really have a place to live. So at this point, Michael is freaking out. He doesn't have any money, he doesn't have a job, he's got no place to live, and his wife is for sure going to divorce him. And this is where he comes up with an absolutely terrible idea. Why not just unalive Susan? I mean, since, you know, she won't be with him, maybe this will make him feel better? I actually don't really get it. But not only that, the house that Susan is living in, it's worth about $300,000. And it's in both their names. And so if Susan just happens to die, the $300,000 house would end up being Michael's. So there is some money involved in this. Here's the problem though. Michael, he can't unalive someone himself. Like, that's just not his style. No. He's gonna hire someone to do it. So he goes to this ex-coworker of his, this guy, Ed. Yeah, and Ed is an ex-convict, kind of a shady dude, and he's also a janitor at the adult video store. Geez, how many janitors does this place have?
Right.
Anyway, so Michael's mentioning all this stuff to Ed about his wife and whatnot, and Ed is like, "Oh yeah, I know all about hiring someone to kill a person." And Ed actually does. In fact, Ed just spent 9 years in prison because he once hired a hitman to take out his ex-girlfriend. And so Ed is like, "I think, yeah, unaliving your wife is a great idea, and I would love to be..."
What's that saying? Two dumbass homegirls telling each other exactly.
be your hitman. And so the deal is done. Michael hires Ed for $50,000, and together they come up with a plan for Ed to assassinate Susan.
I thought you didn't have no money, and then all of a sudden you got $50,000 just out of your ass to murk your wife. Come on, man.
And so some time passes, and eventually in 2006, the big day comes. The day Ed is scheduled to kill Susan.
Dun dun dun!
And so first, Michael goes over...
Why'd they play freaking club music, bro?
to Susan's house when she's not home, and he lets himself in. And they're only separated, so I guess he still has the alarm code. And while he's there, he leaves her a note because he's trying to create an alibi for himself. He's like, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know I'm going to the beach, so I'll be gone and I won't see you for a couple of days."
Yeah, that's not freaking sketchy at all. We're getting a divorce and you're just gonna leave me this random ass letter letting me know you're gonna be like, I give a f... Man, bye.
And then he leaves. Meanwhile, Ed is at his house preparing for this hit. And when I say preparing for this hit, I mean he's doing a bunch of cocaine. Like, a bunch of cocaine. And once he's sufficiently high, he travels over.
Don't do drugs, y'all. Don't do drugs.
Over to Susan's house, and he enters, and he hides there behind the bedroom door.
Oh, so he is the hitman? I kind of figured that, but it said that he hired someone, so is he the hitman? That's crazy.
And he waits for her to come home. Sometime later, Susan gets home, and before she goes into her bedroom, she notices something feels off. Because the room is like super dark, like she didn't leave the curtains open when she left or something. And then, suddenly, out of nowhere, boom, Ed appears. And Susan's like, who are you? What do you want? And Ed, he's got a hammer. And then, bam, he hits her in the head with it. And they grab each other and they're wrestling around and there's a struggle. And she slams him up against the wall, trying to get the hammer away from him. And she's thinking this guy's about to be like, where's all your jewelry or whatever? Because she thinks he's a burglar. But Ed, he doesn't say anything like that. He just keeps on fighting and trying to hit her with the hammer. But Susan, she's trying to fight back.
Bro, that's gotta be so scary to walk into your crib and someone just attacks you, bro. Like, what the fuck did I do to you? Like, damn.
She uses all her weight to pin him up against the wall. And Ed says,
oh, she's
you're
winning.
Strong. And this makes Susan realize that this dude isn't here to rob her. He's here to kill her. And she's got to do everything she can to not let that happen. So pow, she manages to wrestle the hammer away from him. And boom, 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 she hits him in the head with it 3 or 4 times.
Yo, Susan's that nigga. Susan tough, boy. She fighting for her life. Let's go. Let's go.
And then they fight and they struggle some more before Ed manages to grab the hammer back from her. But Susan, she's still not giving up. She does not want to die today. And so she grabs him by the throat. She puts him in a chokehold. Now, despite the extreme circumstances here, Susan, she's a nice woman. She doesn't want to kill anyone. Most people don't. She doesn't even want to kill this hitman who showed up to assassinate.
Nah, if it's in self-defense, hey, no explanation needed, bro. Do what you gotta do, bro.
Assassinate her. So she then lets go of him and she tries to run away. But he grabs her and he spins her around and pow, he punches her in the face. And pow, he does it again. And Susan falls to the floor.
No.
And so she lays there, out of energy, while Ed takes that hammer and he stands over her. And one more hit from him with that thing is all it's gonna take. And poor Susan will be dead. And she knows it. She knows she's done for. I'm
sorry, that's gotta be a terrible feeling. Like, oh, this is it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh.
Until Susan still isn't gonna give up. Her body gives her another hit of adrenaline, and suddenly she reaches up and she grabs Ed, and she pulls him down onto the floor with her. And now they're both wrestling for control of that hammer. And soon she says, fuck it, and she starts biting him. Boom, she bites his arm. Boom, she bites his thigh.
Valid, do what you gotta do.
Boom, she even bites him on his junk through his pants.
Nice.
And as they continue to wrestle, anytime she has a free hand, she tries to slip it into his pockets. She's trying to find some form of ID or something so that she can quickly toss it under the bed or under a chair so that police might find it later and they can identify who came in to kill her. Damn, she's really good under pressure. I would never.
Right. I feel like he's about to say the same thing I am right now, but I wouldn't be thinking of doing all that. And if I'm in this situation, I'm just thinking of survival. She got that.
Never think to do that. But anyway, at this point, Susan and Ed have been fighting for around 14 minutes. And they are completely worn out. And so they're both there, lying on their sides, trying to catch their breath. But Susan is still not giving up. And she manages to climb on Ed's back and put him in a chokehold. And she starts yelling at him, tell me who sent you! Tell me who sent you and I'll call an ambulance for you. Because, he's hurt. This woman really said, call an ambulance, but not for me. Anyway, Ed doesn't say anything back to her. He only growls at her. And so Susan tightens her grip around his neck and she holds him there. And she doesn't let go until he stops moving completely.
Hey,
and Ed
he deserves
dies.
Oh.
And then,
well, I don't want to say anyone deserves death. I didn't know he was gonna actually die. I thought he was just gonna pass out till the cops got there. But hey, karma. You know, you reap what you sow, man.
And Susan runs outside over to a neighbor's house, who then calls 911. And police show up, and they're able to piece together that Ed is connected to her husband, Michael. And so, bam, they go and they arrest Michael. Here's his mugshot. Ugh.
Oh my gosh, they did a good job drawing him for the most part. Ugh, he looks guilty.
Jesus, dude. And ultimately, Michael takes a plea deal, and he's sentenced to 10 years in prison.
Well, 10 years. They should have threw him the book, because that was nasty work. Bro, if you fall out of love, you should just leave. Well, she tried, huh? He's disgusting. This whole story was crazy. Oh my gosh. Don't murk people, y'all. And don't do drugs. Don't hire hitmen. Oh my gosh. And do anything you need to do to survive and save yourself if you're ever in a wild, crazy predicament like this. I hope you never are. But yeah, this will be the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.